Dwayne Bankston. The Battle of the Bulge. The Battle of the Bulge, Dwayne Bankston.
The battlefield was rough, but in the midst of all their fallen comrades, the team stood tough. On the outside, solid, gold and bronze mixed. On the inside, as soft as could be. Tension was thick. Fear and excitement was the emotional mix. In the midst of tearful confessions and promises to quit, I looked him square in the eye and said, I'll have 6 and a low-fat milk. I was at Krispy Kreme. And all day there had been a war raging inside me over how many of those delectable pieces of heaven it would take to fill the hole in my soul. 2, 4. If I go with the low-fat milk, that has to be worth at least a couple more donuts. Let me tell you, if you've never stood in line at Krispy Kreme, hypnotized by that sweet aroma floating through the air, watching that squadron of hot donuts march toward that cascade of steamy white icing, I just don't know what you've been doing with your life. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I've always been a goal setter. Every year, I sit down and I write down all the goals that I would like to accomplish. And for as long as I can remember, at least one of those goals have been this year. I will successfully battle this bulge. I've had a few successes. I've had many more learning opportunities. And through it all, I boiled it down to all the 3 P's of positive goal setting. First P, you have to be proactive. Every year around mid-December, I go through my house, clean out all the stuff that I shouldn't be eating. All the cookies, cakes, pies, and potato chips. I go and fill the fridge with all the stuff I should have. Lean meats, fresh fruits and veggies, whole grains. Yet, and still, sometime around early January, I seem to find myself crying to a bowl of own creamery, salted caramel ice. I pause to ponder, is the saltiness from my tears somehow enhancing the flavor of the caramel? I digress. Being proactive wasn't enough. That's where I learned the second P. You have to have passion in order to reach your goals. I learned this while on deployment to Iraq. Standing in line at the dining facility, I figured this is the year for me to reach my goal. I don't have a refrigerator to clean out. I don't have a Cold Stone Creamery in Iraq. Yet and still, at some point, I found myself holding that tray in the dining facility, and I saw the soldier to my right, and I told him that I would leave his cold, lifeless body in a shallow foxhole if he didn't retract his hand from the last chocolate chip cookie and the dessert cakes. Okay. Learn something about passion. Maybe slightly excited. That's where I had to learn the third P. I have to learn to set priorities. Learned this one just last year. Sitting at my desk at work, working on that end of month report that I love so much. Trying to actively fight the sleep monster that's crawling up my back, putting me in a bear hug. And I heard the sweetest, most angelic voice softly whisper, "Hey, Paula brought in a pound cake." I immediately snapped to attention. I had purpose, I had passion, and I knew my priorities. I threw that report off my desk, and I had a new objective. Get to the break room undetected. I mean, everybody knows the calories don't count if nobody sees you eat them. Immediately, I was transformed back to basic training where we learned an exercise called bounding. Let me show you. You get down, you jump up, you run a few steps, you get back down. Look around, nobody saw me. Get up, run a few more steps. I made it to the break room successfully, undetected. And in my defense, I showed a little discipline. I took a reasonable piece of pound cake. I shaved off a sliver of pound cake, grabbed the rest, and ran in the bathroom. Covered in crumbs, I looked around and I felt like I was not alone. And to my chagrin, my coworker forgot to lock the door on the bathroom again. Those calories have to count now. So, we learned a little something about being proactive. We learned about having passion. We learned about setting priorities. But in the end, let's learn a life lesson to always take time to laugh at yourself and always keep learning. And on that note, maybe you and I both can successfully battle this bulge. Mr. Contest Chair.